A little bit of bullish news this weekend. It has lifted the markets a little bit, but can we trust this pump? It's a weekend again, guys. The alts are moving. Do we need to be shorting this stuff? So, guys, we're going to talk about that. I got a lot of trades that I'm in at the moment. I'm going to talk to you about my plan here. Let's plan this week. Let's go. Guys, and remember, as always, hit that like, hit the bell, and hit the subscribe. Sorry about Friday. I was a little bit under the weather on Friday and Saturday, but James has come in here today to cheer us up. He's wearing his green uniform, and
I put the green on the Stimmy check news though. But as we've gone live here, we found out that's being taken back by Mr. Besant already. So I may need to get the red shirt out.
What were you expecting on the weekend? Okay, so guys, we're going to talk about it because there's a couple of bits of news floating around at the moment that could be relatively bullish for the market, and now there's a little bit coming back a little bit. So we're going to see if we need to be exiting some of these longs and if we need to be taking some profits or opening some shorts. Anybody surprised Zcash is still pumping? I'm surprised. I mean, this thing, it fell over a little bit, then we thought it was going to go to zero, and it's pumped again another 20%. 𝗏𝗏 has been a really nice trade for me. That thing is at resistance. Am I going to close that one live right now? Are we going to open an 𝗏𝗏 short? It's sitting at major resistance at the moment. XMR, that's a Monero. That was a bit of a late bloomer. That is finally doing a couple of things as well. But I think overall, we've had a good move. After Friday, they bled us out then for a day or two, and now they've pumped us again today. So let's just get into the stuff. Let's see what exactly is going on here with BTC, and then try and just just plan our way out of this. I see Sheba Max in the house. Happy Sunday, guys. Sorry about the live trading. We love to do live trading on a Saturday. We just couldn't get that one together. Now, let's talk about BTC here on the 1 hour, and a couple of things that have happened relatively well for us. We had a wick problem that I was talking about earlier before this weekend, and you can see we came back and we did sort out that wick issue. So that was nicely dealt with, and we've had a beautiful pump. Just notable here, Bitcoin has held the bull zone. That is our VWAP and our 0.5. That's 101,650. So for now, as long as we're holding 101,650, we should be okay. What I do like is that is our weekend low as well. So if we do have some kind of drama today, that looks like a reasonable area here to look for our first batch or our next batch of BTC longs if there is a little bit of a drop, and that should give us some nice tie-in on some of these altcoins. So zone number one for me, 101,650. That'll take out the weekend low. That'll tap into our bull zone, and that should give us a little bit of something to work with. Now, obviously, one more step lower. Let's just add our 618. I just want to see where that is. Okay, that's nice. So anything just above that 101K does make sense. And then we've got two levels lower down. It's going to be our 786 at 100K, and then obviously our lows here at 99. Now, based on the news that we are seeing at the moment, I'm not quite expecting another visit to 99 yet, and I do believe we'll get it at some point. But I do think there is liquidity to the upside that needs to get handled. And with the current news in the market and the current stuff floating around, there might be a little bit of momentum to send us a little bit higher. So first prize for me, guys, you've got that level there, 101,600. Makes a lot of sense to me. Then a little bit lower, we've got 100,250. Now, if we pump up today, if we start moving from here, you can see we do have some horizontal resistance at the moment at this 104K, but I'm looking for a little pop. I want to see a move a little bit higher into that VWAP 106K, anywhere in that region, looking for some kind of rejection there on BTC. And then we'll obviously reassess where we are in terms of bull zones. But right now, 106K is looking pretty good to me. Then levels a bit higher, 107,600, and then I've got 109,700. Now that is a big one, and I'm going to show you on the 3-day chart why that is quite an important zone for me. But right now, guys, short-term areas, I like this little idea of a pop into this 106. That could be a really nice little pump there before Asia, and then a little pullback for us on some of these alts, and then hopefully a little bit more longing after that. Now, let's just get into the important stuff. This isn't going to be a very long show today, but I do want to just cover a couple of things, and obviously the bullish news that is floating around. So, Lickies at the moment, 230. It's nothing It's not nothing to be ashamed of for a weekend, but I must say, after the pump earlier and after that sell-off over Saturday, I was expecting that to be a little bit higher. I am a little bit surprised, but thanks to me, Master, and thank you, Crypto, for changing my life. I mean, I'm loving my 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 My Rolex. What do we got? we got some Marlboros here. We got a nice cigar. I'm loving what's going on here.
I love that one, huh? It's a good one.
This is the best part because crypto's up like 9% today or whatever. But let's not forget, it's been dipping. It's been dipping for, I don't know, for how long? For a year. It feels like it's been heading down. So guys, enjoy the small wins when you can. And that is obviously why we have so much fun at the Chart Hackers as well, especially in the Discord, because we're looking for longs, we're looking for shorts. We are not just long only here, and we can take advantage of some of these dips along the way. So Dylan, I like it in the Discord group. Oh, well, thank you, 𝗵𝗵𝗵. Well, welcome to the Discord group, sir. Okay, let's get into the stuff now. This is the first bit of bull source. The Senate may vote today to end the longest US government shutdown. That seems to be around the corner, I believe. So, James, anything new happening here at the moment? Are we waiting?
There's a vote today, but I'm not very hopeful on anything going. They just keep posturing and pointing fingers. The Democrats say it's a Republican shutdown. The Republicans say it's a Democrat shutdown. They're both blaming each other. I mean, it'd be great if this would end, because that's what we really need in order to get properly bullish, just to get rid of the shutdown. But
look,
this will today.
Yeah, and funnily enough, the shutdown was actually a catalyst for a really nice pump in the markets. We had probably about a week. The market did really nicely on the shutdown. Then they've digested the whole thing, and now, funnily enough, a government cancelling the shutdown is probably going to be a very bullish catalyst for us. And it could probably go into Trump announcing that he's going to be paying a tariff dividend of at least $2,000 per person. Now, can you imagine when he says that? Can you imagine when he says at least $2,000 per person? Okay, like that's already a little bit of suspicion to me. Okay, so we know, I mean, the last time there was a stimulus situation in the market, okay, we saw Bitcoin in 2020. You can see that little upside here that Bitcoin Archive have highlighted. So that is obviously super bullish. But what we've seen happen now, and James touched on that when we started the stream, is that his buddy Besant is out basically putting a little bit of water on the flame here on the 2000 stimmy. Now, I haven't watched the video. So what's happened is the bull in the China shop has come out and he said $2,000 stimmy at least for everybody. And now there's damage control going on. I haven't seen this video. Let's see what he has to say.
You know, it could, the $2,000 dividend could come in lots of forms, in lots of ways, George. You know, it could be just the tax decreases that we are seeing on the president's agenda. You know, no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, no tax on Social Security, deductibility of auto loans. So, you know, those are substantial deductions that, you know, are being financed in the tax bill.
So basically, they unwinding the whole thing, and he might say, "You've already received it."
We already did so much amazing stuff. Yeah, we're awesome. Yeah.
Okay. Well, there you go. So, guys, I mean, so 50-50 bull news. But in terms of that, run me my money, Trump, says Abe, not Lincoln. Look, so it would be nice. I think we would get pumpage, but I don't think it's going to be as simple as that. Now, let's talk. Dylan Shipman says fucking Besant. Okay, let's talk. You can hardly speak, these old folks. I must say, I did notice that as well. It doesn't sound very good at the moment. Now, let's talk game plan here for BTC. So, you know, I covered a plan last week, and I said what I was looking for was some kind of bounce in the solid zone. So we all agree 100 to 98K, there's no contesting. We know it is a big zone. Okay, that was always going to be a bounce zone for us, or at least one that we were going to look for longs, and we are now getting the bounce. Now, the danger for me is that in spite of all the bull news out there, can we trust this move? Is that the bottom? And for me, at the moment, I don't feel that we can consider that anything is the bottom until we start clearing things like the 200-day moving average, like the 50-day moving average, and start getting above these types of levels. When we are doing that, then maybe we can start having these bullish conversations that maybe the bull market is back. But until that happens, I'm not loving life under the 200, under the 50-day. And you can see if this drama continues, that 50-day MA is going to cross over the 200-day MA, and we're going to get the dreaded death cross that everybody is so terrified of. And you'll probably find that we pump into the death cross and everybody gets bullish, and then we get basically sent to hell. So my current game plan on the 3-day chart, until proven otherwise, 1095, big rejection zone for me, big danger, 112K, big danger here for me on BTC, and that is my plan. And that is going to see, you're going to see the same plan on Solana, you're going to see the same plan on ETH and a lot of these altcoins at the moment. That is big danger there for me to the upside. Okay, so there you go. There you have it. Looking for a lower high. And then in terms of BTC, obviously the lower time frame, I said to you guys I was going to show you a big level, that 109K. And even on the lower time frame, you can see this 109K is a big problem. Look at that. There's our 200-day MA. Here's our local 618 fib as well in that region. And we know if we pump into that area, look at this undercarriage as well. If we pump into that zone, that is a beautiful rejection zone there on BTC. Okay, so weekly looking bad as well, according to Crypto Lady on the Gaussian channel. And I've seen things like the bull market band getting lost and all those types of things. So yeah, guys, a little bit of drama. Definitely things aren't looking super bullish at the moment. So let's just reset our Licky's map here and let's just see where we are in the 24 hours. So you can see a little bit of upside here at 105K. That makes a reasonable little pump for Asia, and then maybe a little rejection if we do drop a little bit lower, 101, 102. That does tie in relatively well with that current the current short-term chart. So things aren't looking bad. Again, I want to see higher lows. I want to see these lows held until we do push a little bit higher, and hopefully this bullish catalyst will be, you know, canceling the shutdown, things like that, give us one more push into these nice areas. Now, a couple of important markers for us. I have adjusted my Bitcoin dominance chart, and you can see we are moving back into our weekend alt danger zone, 59.75%. And you can see this is a big confluence zone. Look at this, our 0.5, we got our 50, we got our horizontal, and things are looking pretty rough over there for a Bitcoin dominance bounce. So now if we do get a Bitcoin dominance bounce, obviously these alts can get hurt. So look out, guys, from a move from here, 59.74. This is obviously trouble, especially if some of your altcoins are now sitting at resistance, like Aero, for example. And we're going to go through a lot of my trades, and I'm actually going to close some of them. We're going to open some head shorts as well on a couple of these. Okay, so dominance on support. Let's look at USDT dominance as well. And same story. Look at our market danger zones, and you can see USDT dominance sitting on support at the moment. This is 5.26, 5.27%. If we do drop lower, we get a really nice pump in the market. That's great, but you're going to be careful at 5.1% is going to be your next big danger zone on USDT dominance. Okay, so looking for a bounce at one of these zones. If it happens here, that is going to tie in obviously with our alts that are sitting at resistance now. And again, I'm not looking for a full new low on these alts. I'm looking for higher lows, hopefully, and we're going to have to see if that's going to play out. Now, when Licky free entry for 𝗏𝗏𝗏, what is that code here? When Licky free entry for 𝗏𝗏𝗏. Do you know what that is? Do you know what that means?
He wants a no drawdown or zero drawdown, no Licky's guaranteed Bitcoin trade. Apparently, I'd like to too if that thing exists.
Coming in hot for you, sir. Okay, coming in hot. We'll get it. Jacqueline wants some near action. Guys, I don't think I have near today, but what we do have later on is the Sunday banger. Now, every Sunday, myself and DJ and Dave do a private Zoom session for the Chart Hackers Discord members, and we tee up the week and we do tons of altcoins. So we'll do 20 or 30 alts, I'm sure, and we'll discuss a couple of plans. Near will be in the equation here for you guys as well. Now, for our heat map, you can see we are in the chop zone at the moment. We are floating around neutral and strong. And again, this is a little bit of indecision here for us. We want to see these alts push through the strong region so that we can play these breakouts with confidence. Right now, they're kind of just chopping around. So we want to see one more push out of Bitcoin, and that should get these alts pushing a little bit higher. But right now, it's a little bit of caution that needs to be had in these areas. Now, we're going to get into alts, guys. What's coming here is ETH. We got Sol. I got Zcash, I got Aero, I've got Hype, I've got Pump. I think I've got AVAX for you as well. And we're going to cover a lot of the trades that I'm sitting in here for you guys. And just join Hackers. We had some great trades already up down today. Yes, exactly. The team is always busy, guys. So talking about ETH, I did post this on X 2 days ago. So I said longs from 3.2, shorts from 3,800, and that was my ETH game plan. Now let's see, is this working out for now? And James, why is everyone shouting near at me? Is it really like pumping or something? Okay. So guys, in terms of ETH, again, looks very similar to Bitcoin for me. I am looking for a lower high. Happy to be wrong. Happy for new highs and things like that. But right now, if you look at Bitcoin and we get a pump into 109 or 112, somewhere there, you're looking for a rejection. Same thing with ETH here for me. So 3,800 looking like a great short zone at the moment for ETH, and that will simply be a lower high, and we'll be looking for lower on ETH. Now, obviously, we can reclaim certain levels, and we can change how we feel about things when we do start reclaiming that 3,800. But for now, that is a danger zone for me. I am expecting ETH to start grinding higher to the upside. So I am sitting in an ETH position at the moment amongst a few positions. And I'm sure a lot of these I was actually sitting in last week, and we've just been chopping around, but some of them are now getting a little bit of energy. So you can see I'm $80,000 long on ETH at the moment. Ideally would like to see higher. Ethereum Classic got that short. I gave it to the chart hackers on Friday. A couple of head shorts running here at the moment. Zcash just doesn't seem to end. It just carries on pumping this thing. I'm in a speculative Monero position here as well. Sol, you can see I'm actually net down on that Sol long. That was part of the chop over the last couple of days. Virtual doing really nicely here for me again. Hype's doing well. And where's Aero? Aero's been an absolute cooker. And it wasn't a very big position, but it's been cooking now, and we are sitting at resistance, and I suspect we might need to start cutting some of these at the moment just to make sure that we are well protected. So let's start with Zcash. Let's take a look. And guys, obviously the big news on Zcash is that there's a whale floating around. Now, don't tell me I've lost this tweet again. There's a whale floating around with a Zcash long position of $4 million. And I've opened the tweet twice and I've lost it twice. Okay, so this guy's long at 590, and right now he is actually in profit. But in terms of danger zones for Zcash, my concern, and it still remains the same, 800. This is a major area. This is the weekly from January 2018. Look at that thing, and we pumped into the zone, and we had a monster rejection on Zcash. So guys, I just want to say again, like, have fun scalping this thing, but in terms of like super high conviction after a pump like this, it's very dangerous, to go and sell the Gran and basically pile in her rings into a Zcash long here without some kind of consolidation or some kind of pullback. I mean, if you look at the chart here, it's pretty dangerous. So obviously, granted, there's people saying this thing can go to $1,000, and what do I know? Maybe it can, but in terms of me, like, would I be investing in this thing now when it's ripping like that? I'm a little bit scared. After a pump like that. So right now, I'm just scalping this thing and having tons of fun doing it along the way. Obviously, missed some of the massive size from the lows, but now just riding it. And I'm even farming it on Gravity at the moment as well. So just riding this thing up, down, and trying to just do what we can at the moment. Okay, so Yumi wants to short ZEC. Yeah, look, I mean, guys, it had a beautiful rejection. And the problem with ZEC, and when there's so much interest in a coin like this, is that you can get chopped out so quickly. Now, we had a 35% pullback just this weekend. I mean, over Friday into Saturday, 35% dump. And, that would have been a great short. But, like, the question is, how many times did you try and catch this thing? Like, I tried to short ZEC and I got stopped out. Eventually, it did start falling over. So, guys, in terms of, playing this thing, obviously there's a lot of bull source behind it. But in terms of danger zones, yeah, this is the first one for me, 660. And in fact, I'm going to close my scalp here. We pushed into a rejection zone. So I'm going to exit that one over there. Okay, so we are now out of Zcash, and the reason being, this is a typical 618 undercarriage rejection zone. Yes, this thing can obviously go higher, but now we've had a nice pump this weekend. Let's not give away all our gains here. So what is the plan? If this does start pushing, guys, and it reclaims 660, then I would say there's possibly another long here on Zcash, but right now it's a TP zone for me. And where could the next buy zone be on this guy? So what you want to do, keep it simple, just track your bull zone. And your bull zone is going to be your local VWAP. So you can pull your VWAP from Saturday's lows. And what you can do is you can pull your local fibs as well. And you want to make sure that you're holding your 382 and your 0.5. And as long as you're holding those two, you can then say that ZEC remains bullish. Okay, so if we do get a little dip here, you can look for buys, 594 and 574. These are the bull zone buys there for me on Zcash. So this thing stays bullish until it starts closing under those types of levels, and you'll see there's a nice trend as well pushing to the upside here, holding things together. Okay, so I'm out of that long at resistance. I've explained why. If you are looking for another scalp, play in that zone. Now, you got to leave quite a broad stop here. It's 590, call it 598 to 574. And that could be potentially your next bull zone. Now, remember, all the charts you see on the show, go into the Chart Hackers Discord for you guys directly after the show. You'll have access to all of them over there. And don't even talk to me about this jelly. That thing's been volatile. I think that's the safest word for that thing at the moment. Okay, so guys, there's Zcash. Okay, 660s resistance. You've got bullish support. Upside targets, guys, 800. Be super careful through there, and then God knows what happens after that. 1,000, 2,000, who knows where this thing can go to. Okay, so let's talk ETH Classic. This was a short that I gave to the Chart Hackers Discord on Friday, and it was a typical rejection zone that I was looking at, and we pumped into the 200-day MA. Look what else we hit. We had our 786 undercarriage and trend, and then a nice rejection. Okay, so this thing is rolling over nicely. We do have bearish prints at the moment, and I would say, like this, there's no reason to close this thing. If we get another pump, there's probably another short opportunity here for you guys. So I'm going to leave this short open and looking for something like that. Bang into that zone again. So 17.7 could be a nice add-on zone. Now, Daru says, what's the next chain link resistance? Listen, Daru, we'll cover it in the Hackers live Zoom that I do with DJ and Dave in a couple of hours. We do that. Oh, it's an hour from now. We'll cover that for you guys. Okay. So 17.7 is probably your next ETH Classic lower high. That is your next ETH Classic possible short zone. Anyone in the short, that's where you can add on to that thing. And then the exit plan is easy. If you close above the 200-day moving average at 18.7, that looks like a nice exit zone there. So if we do pump, guys, I think opportunity to add. Remember, you don't want to be only long in this situation. You want to have a couple of hedge plays, and we're going to look at a few more here. And I'm possibly going to be closing Aero as well at this resistance zone. Okay, we want to make sure we are nicely covered here with hedges as well. Let's talk virtual. This has been an interesting one. Lots of fundamentals behind this, lots of bull talk behind this, the narratives, all these things going on. But the long and the short of the virtual situation is we are under major resistance. I just want to highlight this 200-day MA, VWAP 0.5 undercarriage. So in terms of possible exit zones, this is one of them. Looking at this current chart, that is a lower high, and we could see a situation where they drop us back into 1.26. So in terms of just being a little bit cautious here with some of these things, is a time to close a little bit. Here's virtual. Let's close a little bit more of this situation, and let's just close that. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go market, and I'm going to select 25% on WEX. You can literally select how much you want to close. They make it simple here for you. And I'm closing 25% there of that virtual. Okay, so we're banking a little bit here in case this thing is going to start rolling over. So guys, just in terms of resistance, 1445, that is a big danger zone there for me on virtual. And then in terms of good solid support that you can use, 126, that is the big one now. At the moment, in terms of the 1 hour oscillator, a couple of things happening. You can see it has turned short-term bearish, but we might get a situation where they give us that divergence print, something along those lines. Maybe we get a little bit more energy on virtual, but you can see this thing's pretty cooked at the moment. And if we do get a rollover, then look out. 1.26 could be quite a nice add-on zone, quite a nice long zone here for some possible reloads on virtual. Okay, and what is the other option? Look, if the market starts ripping, you need to be prepped, obviously. Like, you might have to play a breakout later on if there is some kind of crazy move. And what you want to do is keep it really simple. Like, we know the 200-day MA is major resistance and support on any day of the week. So if we do start popping through the zone, bang, okay, you simply want to find support at 1.44, and then you've got yourself a possible breakout trade on virtual. But right now it is at resistance. So if you are looking for longs here, and you can see I'm taking profit, it's a major rejection zone. So make sure you can break through first. 1.445, that could be a nice add-on or a nice long zone there for you guys if you are looking for a continuation. And that can obviously take you, it can take you to 166, it can take you to 186, things like that. We won't even talk about some of these other levels for now. Let's just get through like this head and shoulders, for example, that we can see over here. Let's see if we can break. Do you like that, James? Is that putting a bit of a dampener on the situation? Okay, so let's get through this head and shoulders, and then we'll start having sort of more bullish discussions. Dylan, how about ZK? I haven't seen that in a while. Where's ZK? I think I closed that one, guys. I'm going to show you. We'll cover that later in the Zoom. Okay, we'll cover that in the hacker Zoom for you guys. Let's talk to 𝗬𝗬𝗧. Now, this thing's been really interesting and really choppy. So definitely forgiven if you guys have got slapped around. Look at that dump, look at the pump, and look at the dump again all weekend. So anyone who's, bashing their head against the wall, you can't blame yourself. Look what they've done to you. Look what these evil market makers have done here. In terms of jumping and pumping. So what do we do now for 𝗬𝗬𝗧? Well, again, what I would say here is let's watch the big zone that I marked last week, because we haven't even tapped that one yet. So if we do get a little bit more downside, 344, guys, 344, that is a big area for me. 344 is what you want to be tracking on the higher time frame. Where's our big rejection zone? 422, that is horrible. Look at that, bang. That is a big rejection zone there. 422, be careful. That'll be a flush through that horizontal resistance. Everybody will be screaming breakout. They'll be looking at this resistance over here. And what happens is you look for the rejection on the VWAP, 422. That could be a really nice short later on if we do get a pump over the next day or so. So that could be something we can tackle this week. Okay, so possible short up there, and then higher time frame, guys, possible longs from this region, 344. Looking interesting to me. Now, what I have done as well is I've broken it into much more degen lower time frame, okay? Because I know some of you guys are hungry and some of you guys are looking for a little bit of action. So what I did with 𝗬𝗬𝗧 was where are my degens want to get a piece? Where do the degens want to play this thing? And there's a couple of levels of interest. So number one is I've marked out my local bull zone. That is the 0.5, the VWAP, the 382. So anywhere in that region is a typical bullish bounce zone. Now we can see there is a little bit of a double top here. And this means if this does start playing out and we lose our bull zone, which is 368, your next reasonable bounce zone, and it looks pretty good to me on the 15, is 365. Okay, so degens, the high leverage guys, 368, 365. I do expect some kind of reaction here, some kind of bounce. If it is a short-term bounce, then you most likely just go ahead and print a lower high. So then you might do something like this, okay? And then they drop it into that lower zone that I spoke to you about earlier, that 344 that we're looking at down there. Okay, so look out for that type of scenario, 368, 365, degen bull zones. And then if they do capitulate you, 344 is where it's at. In the next area. Now, let's talk hyperliquid. That's also one that I've got cooking here at the moment. Let's just see what we got. I've got my head short open here, and it's relatively flat. Let's see the long. Where's my long gone? Where's my long? There it is. Okay, I'm 35K long on hype. Okay, so obviously leaning to the longer side of things. Now, let's just look at this rationally and reasonably. What is actually going on in front of us? So as you can see, weekend pumps. Look at our 1 hour, heavily overbought here. And we can see we've got some trouble there to the upside. If this thing starts pumping, where is an obvious rejection zone for me? Look at that. Bang. 42.8. We've got our 50-day MA. I've got my 0.5. I've got my horizontal. 42.8, guys. That is a big, big danger zone here on hype. Be careful in that zone. Okay, that is proper danger. If we do go higher, 44.5. This is going to be the next big one for you. This is your 100-day MA. This is your local 618 as well. So 44.5, that is a danger zone there for me. Okay, so upside TP zones for me on this hype, 42.8, 44.5, expecting a rejection at one of these zones. And again, we don't know how much or how big they can do, but look what they've done the last couple of times hype has rejected. Okay, so if we pop into those zones, expecting something like that at those two areas, and then what you can do is you can start tracking your local bull zone. Same story with all these others. Obviously, the lower the time frame and the more aggressive you are, as in using your local areas, the slightly trickier things become. But in terms of a local bull zone, hype traders, if we do get a mini dip, what you can use is 40.3. Okay, so hype traders, degens, 40.3. You can try that area. That is your VWAP local, your 0.5 as well, and some horizontal, and that could possibly take you into this big rejection zone at 42.8. Okay, so 40.3, and then your possible move to 42.8 is on the table. Now, I'll make sure this chart is in the Chart Hackers Discord for you guys. Let's talk pump as well. A little bit rangy at the moment. Again, and I think it's been a fair representation of what the market has done to us over the last couple of days, how it's played with your emotions, and there's no continuation. So lessons again here. Take profit, open head shorts. Why are we getting pumps like this and they just dumping it all the way back again? So let's not get caught in that trap. Let's make sure that we are taking profits along the way here, guys. And in terms of pump, what can we see at the moment? So right now we are just faced with a lower high. Look at that, bang. And this is most likely our 618. Okay, look at that little 618 rejection. And now the classic trader's dilemma. Okay, the question is, does it move all the way back to range low? Okay, so does it send us all the way back down, bang, into range low at 36? Or do they give us a bullish bounce? And do they send it higher? Okay, so now again, it depends what side of the fence you're sitting at. Is the news bullish enough in the market? Is that going to send us a little bit higher? And if that is the case, what you can do is you go 15 minutes, you go local bull zone. So you're going to bang out your VWAP from the lows. Let's just get it in there. Bang. And then you want to get your local fib. Bang. And you want to see your 0.5 ideally, and your 382 are going to be your first sort of port of call. So let's see where that 382 is. Let's see where our 0.5 is. Okay, those are your first two, and that is going to be your bull zone. Now you want this VWAP to start creeping up relatively quickly, and 386. Okay, so zone number one for pump, if it's going to hold, this is ideally where you want to see a little bit of this action, 386 for this guy. So if it drops into that zone, look for a wick onto that VWAP, but that looks pretty nice for me. 386 for the degens, and hopefully, Syed, we do get a little bit more out of this pump. So 386 is the degen zone, guys. Let's talk other shorts. XRP, no reason to exit this thing, James. Still enjoying this, enjoying the ride to the downside. Looks very much like Ethereum Classic, guys. And for me, any pumps on XRP, these are ad zones. So 2.38, nice short zone for me, 2.38. If we do push higher, that is a typical rejection zone on XRP. So if you are looking for a hedge play, like that, looks really good to me. And again, no reason to exit this thing at the moment. Let's just see where we are. And there it is. Okay, so we're 31,000 short here, a little bit flat. I add, I take, I add, I take. And you can see I banked $2,000 out of that thing at the moment, and now it's flat. But for me, like, again, perfect play. If this thing pumps higher, just another opportunity to add to this thing and hopefully get a nice big size and send it a little bit lower. Okay, so there's XRP, and then Aero, guys. Are we jumping out of this one? James, what do you think here? Look at this, 786 trend, 100-day MA. Let me just show you the context. 2 hour. Completely overbought here again for the second time. Now the only difference is whenever this thing has fallen over, it has rolled over midway. Okay, so they have given it a little bit of a bounce, but we have had short-term dips on this thing. Okay, so step number one, this is potentially still bullish. So let's just see where we are. Let's go after the 8 hour. Okay, and you can see there's a descending trend here. Okay, so this is a typical rejection zone, typical bear zone here on Aero. Then you add the 100-day MA, you add the 786, and you can see it starts making sense that you might get a short-term dip on this thing. Now, if this is the case and it is going to roll over, your oscillators are agreeing with you. They are saying this thing can roll over. Look at that, a little bit bearish here at the moment. So there's a possibility that this agrees with you. If it's going to stay bullish, guys, it's the very simple plan. You're going to look for a bullish pullback. So what you're going to do is you're going to bang out your trend. Look at that. You're going to get your VWAPs out as well, and you can get your local and your major VWAP. So you can get that one there, and let's get our local out. And then you're going to look at some degen support levels. Okay, and now it depends how degen you guys are. Okay, so zone number 1 for me is bulls. If we get a reasonable dip here from the market makers, you're looking at a entry at around about 1 to about 99. So you can go 101 to 99. And if you start closing below the 0.5 and VWAP, then generally things can get a little bit ugly. Okay, so watch that area there, 1.01 to 99. So ideally you hold this zone and get a nice bounce. Okay, step 1. Alternatively, let's look where our slightly more macro levels are. Let's go back to that low there. Bang. Let's get that out there. And there's your 382. Okay, so if we get quite a hard sell-off in the market, 94. Okay, so your less degen is 94. Your proper degen is 101 to 99. Your less degen is 94. Okay, so watch that area there, guys. That'll be a nice sell-off. That'll take you to Saturday's lows. Let's see where, yeah, that's a weekend low as well. So 94 could be a really nice long, and that should give you time to see a reset here on this 1 hour. It might just do something like that, but that could give you a really nice entry on this arrow. Okay, guys, the rest we're going to cover in the Sunday banger. Myself and DJ and Dave, we're going to jump into the Chart Hackers Discord now. Guys, remember, you can join the Discord, and basically everything that I talk about is in the show description. Just go into the show description there, bang, click under more, and you're going to see all the exchanges that I trade on. You can see the accelerator course. You can see the Discord is here, including the indicators that we use as well. Everything is sitting there for you guys. So we'll cover that. We'll cover that in the Discord. James, this green shirt, bro, is it going to work for us later? Or is it...
I don't know. That Uno reverse there on the stimmy has really got me concerned. We'll see. And it's Sunday night. We're heading into Asia Open. I don't know. We'll see. Let's leave the green on and we'll try. Good luck, everyone.
Leave the green on, guys. Leave the green on. Altcoin resistance, taking a little bit of profit here. Arrow's a fine example. Take a bit of profit or open ahead short. You can see the situation. Hackers will see you now in the Zoom later.